Hey y'all, welcome back to the Village and the Skreets. I am Dr. Griffs.
My name is Bam, and welcome back to our channel for another episode, guys. Thank you guys for just joining us in our journey. We've been having a lot of fun with just talking about stuff with each other and just dive into different things. Doctor, how's your week been? How's life treating you these days? What's going on?
Well, today is, I guess, a special day for me. I happen to be born on this day, 20-something plus years ago.
Turn up.
Yeah, turn up. So every day I get a little bit closer to to not having any days left, I guess.
To the final level. To the final level.
To the final level. So, but I'm appreciating this day. How's everything going with you?
For me, everything's been pretty good, pretty calm. Have a little different family stuff going on, but overall just trying to stay unified with my family and staying consistent with things. Just been trying to have a lot more fun. With appreciating every day in life. And I found myself a little bit this season of anime has been a little dry for me. This is one of those seasons where I feel like I kind of have to extend myself out of like whatever's being showcased or advertised this season. I kind of have to like go back to the back catalog of different anime that I haven't watched before, because there's so much anime. There's like thousands of anime that you could just dive in and enjoy. But sometimes, Doctor, I am not always in the mood for anime. Sometimes I want some other kind of medium to like dive into. And so that's what brings us to our main topic of this video. We're talking about movies that, we pull a lot of value from, that we enjoy, that like stuck out to us. It doesn't have to be things that were like, you like that transition? You like that?
Phenomenal. I was like, I see where he's going. I heard the beat coming in. I was like, okay, I see what's coming next.
Hey. So today we're going to be talking about just movies in general. Like it doesn't have to be anything like super crazy in terms of movies that like radically blow our minds, but things that just are memorable to us and are just we enjoy. So, and let us know in the comment section down below what movies impact you or feel great for you to just want to talk about anything. So my first movie that I kind of bring up, and let me know if you watched it. Have you ever watched The Matrix?
Yeah, with Neo, Morpheus, the glasses that don't have
the rims.
Yeah, that movie, right?
Yeah. So I remember watching The Matrix like a really long time ago. I think like it came out in the early 2000s, right? Or was it? Yeah, around the early 2000s or late 1990s, like The Matrix came out. And I remember watching it and not fully understanding at the time because I was so young at the time. So a couple of weeks ago, I remember rewatching it. I was like watching The Matrix, and I felt The Matrix is just like an awesome, well-crafted movie for its time. And the scene that comes out to me most is like the red pill, blue pill. I think that's the most popular scene from The Matrix that we kind of see different groups of people kind of like adopt and take on the idea of it and like use that as like philosophy moving forward for like their lives and everything. But I remember watching that scene and feeling like a person having to choose between the reality of things and the illusion of things, right? And when you think about it a little bit, or when I think about it a little bit, I think about, all right, so when you present that option to people, like the blue pill, red pill, I think most people will be like, of course I want the truth, the truth and everything. But then you realize that the blue pill or the illusion was crafted by people. It was crafted by people with intelligence, right? So there's a purpose to the illusion. There's a purpose to it, right? And in the context of The Matrix, in terms of the show, when you take the red pill, like life becomes trash, to be honest. Like life becomes very like dull, painful, just like something you don't want to be a part of, you know what I mean? So the so we even have a character within I think the first movie of the Matrix that literally took the red pill and was like, oh nah son, I can't keep doing this, like let me go back to the blue pill. They wanted to go back to the illusion. There was that scene where that character was eating a steak, and he was eating a steak going like, I know the steak is not real. I know you're not real. I know, the scenery, the temperature, everything about this experience is not real, but it feels real enough. And I can't tell, honestly, my senses cannot tell if it's not real or not. So it's like the blue pill. When I thought about it, when I started thinking about it a lot more, is like taking the blue pill is kind of like living within the illusion. But if you're living within an illusion, like say for example, someone gets born into the illusion and die in that illusion, to them that's reality. That is reality, because like you don't need it. So it's like the red pill to the blue pill. Of course, at the end of the day, I'll choose the red pill because I'm just the type of person that likes the truth.
I'm capping.
What? No, bro.
Oh, I thought I was muted. Sorry. My bad.
No, but it is a hard decision, I think, for most people. I just know for me, is like I have that itch in my head. Like I have the itch of like, yo, what is on the other side of things? Like what am I missing? So like for me, I feel like, for me, it's like I feel like the world is better when you know the truth, because like you could work and like make a real change from the truth. But if you're living in the illusion, it's hard to make things. But it's like I completely understood that character being like, why am I going to eat like vomit when I can eat steak? And it's like you can't even tell the difference, if you're eating vomit or steak.
You ever had a dream before?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
I don't know how you perceive reality. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you ever had dreams and night. You ever had a nightmare before?
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm.
So you had dreams and nightmares.
Hold up, wait a minute.
But you ever had a dream and you like woke up in the middle of it and you were tight?
Yeah.
Like you try to get back to that dream.
Mm-hmm.
You try to like tell your brain, yo, get back here.
Yeah, for sure.
That happened to you?
Yes, that happened to me. Yes.
But you said you missed the red pill.
Yes, I missed it. It's like I missed the red pill, but it's like I still recognize that, like, even though that experience is something I've experienced, it's still something that, like, it's kind of like going on vacation. It's like I'm not going to stay in vacation all the time. I prefer to make a reality. I guess it's because I believe that reality or the truth comes out eventually. That like you can live in an illusion or exist within an illusion, but like the way of the world is reality, and reality will come out, right? Even to the idea of like existing in the illusion, you can only exist in the illusion if someone or the people that are governing the illusion recognizes what reality is. So you have to have people or entities, intelligent entities, that are aware of the reality, so that way they can construct an illusion that's close enough to reality for you to not notice it. So it's like you need reality to even have the illusion.
I see what you're saying. So you know Naruto, right? So fun fact about Itachi. So when he killed off his whole family and everything like that, he reserved the Tsukuyomi for a couple of different people. This is based off of the novels. It wasn't in the manga.
Is it canon?
Yes, because it's based off the novels.
Okay.
It just never was put into the manga form. So I believe this is pretty canon. He found his girlfriend. Well, wasn't really girlfriend. The love interest, kinda.
Yeah.
And he put her in the Tsukuyomi. And in like a picosecond, like a very small amount of time, like less than a second, like a thousandth of a second, he had her experience them having children, having grandchildren, and then dying at the age of like 90 in a picosecond or something like that. And her mind just like exploded because of this experiencing so much life in that fraction of a second. And when she was dying, she said, "Yo, thank you, Itachi. I'm very grateful to you," and died. I bring that up because he blue pilled her, if you think about it. Itachi, you know, he put her in Tsukuyomi, and after that, she kind of like was grateful to the whole experience, and you know, and then another person, he hated somebody that was Uchiha, and he put them in the Tsukuyomi, and they had a horrible experience. Like they probably got like stabbed several times. He got Kakashi times 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like every worst dream that happened, he did to that guy, and they died in like a 0.1 second as well. I say all that to say, I know that illusions are fake, but in the context of the Matrix, there's been generations of people that lived in that world, had families in that world, died off in that world, and they would never know the difference. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I often think about what Madara did, or what he was trying to do with Infinite Tsukuyomi. Well, I guess he did accomplish it.
Yeah, he was trying to construct a Matrix, but like in the Naruto form, you know?
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, he grew up as, you know, a child soldier. He's seen countless of his brethren get slaughtered and everything like that. So he figured, you know, people will inevitably go to war. So we might as well create a world without war. The only way we can do this is creating an illusion where everyone lives their best life throughout their illusion. Naruto would have had parents. Tsunade would have had, you know, her little brother and her lovers and all that stuff. So I see the allure of, you know, the Matrix. The blue pill life. Like, imagine if I think Black Mirror had an episode about like some contacts that the soldiers put in so that they could see a false reality. The episode started with like these soldiers got put contacts in, and they were sent to exterminate some monsters, some zombie looking monsters, right? But I guess spoiler alert, they weren't zombies. They were like some refugees in a country, and they were trying to make sure that the soldiers saw exactly what the government wanted them to see. So they put the contacts in them, and they felt like they were, you know, taking care of these zombies. You know what I'm saying? But in fact, they were destroying families. And the episode ended with him like going back to his home, and he sees a beautiful version of his home. He sees a wife and kid. He sees a picket fence and all that stuff. But you also get the perspective without the contact lenses, and he's like living in a trap. You know what I'm saying? The glass is broken and everything like that. So I don't know if he would want to live the life of not seeing, you know, through the contact eyes. You know what I'm saying? I'd say all that to say, if I knew that the Matrix, well, I think I would actively try not to know. I don't know. I don't think I would want to know what the truth is and then go back to the illusion. You know what I'm saying? I think that can mess you up. I think just refusing to know altogether might be beneficial. Like, you ever heard, you know what's in a hot dog?
The idea of like what's in, like, you don't want to know how they make a hot dog kind of thing. Yeah,
you don't. Did you Google it? Did you Bing it?
Did I Bing what's in hot? I know hot dogs are definitely not the healthiest thing, so I haven't really eaten hot dogs in a long time.
Fair. But you weren't enjoying a hot dog, and you were like, I wonder what's in here. Let me go Bing this and ruin my dinner.
Yeah.
You ever done that before?
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah, I'm not. I feel like it's like, I get what you're saying. It's like sometimes living within the ignorance of something is more overall beneficial for your well-being and your happiness as a person, right? And I think there's a lot of like value in that. So that's why I don't judge anyone that would like prefer a blue pill lifestyle, right? I just think it's like, in order to live the blue pill lifestyle, you need people that have taken a red pill. Because only by taking a red pill can a person construct a blue pill lifestyle or construct a blue pill reality for a person. And it's like, even in the context of the Matrix, it's like once they took the red pill, the first thing they decided to do was like, let's take out these machines, let's destroy it. So it's like, if you take it'll be absolute suffering if you take the red pill and choose not to do anything but the truth, right? But if you're like, for example, that guy that like, you know, like with the steak and everything, he's like, he took the red pill and he believed that there was nothing that they could do to stop the reality. So it was like, if my choice is to live in this permanent reality that is just suffering, eating garbage, and being hunted down by these machines, versus living within this illusion that basically feels real, I'm gonna go with this. But like, if you take the red pill, if you take the red pill for anything, in order to bear with the harsh reality of the red pill, you have to make a choice. You have to like put action towards utilizing it. So like, for example, Madara would create the infinite Tsukuyomi, but Madara would always know, unless like, I forget, was the infinite Tsukuyomi something that like worked on autopilot? Like, could Madara just create it and like he could put himself in an infinite Tsukuyomi and he could forget it and it was just like there?
I think we've seen characters put themselves in their own genjutsus throughout the series. But I think theoretically speaking, Madara could put himself in some type of Tsukuyomi. I think because they all got brought into the tree of life, that the chakra that they had would just feed the tree, and then that would just keep the Tsukuyomi going. I think that's how it works. I don't know. I don't know the science behind it.
yeah. Because I feel like it's tough. Again, it's a very deep conversation, because in that situation, I feel like if you're able to create a system, like if Madara was able to create the tree and the system, that it would work independently from him, and like if it would work independently from him, and they'll basically like, oh yeah, this tree is basically going to run for all time, as long as the earth exists, it runs for all time, then he's effectively created a reality. You know, it's like, I feel like the danger of the blue pill for me is the fact that there's people that have the red pill, and so they effectively control you because they're the ones that created the blue pill lifestyle. Like the machines in the Matrix are the ones that control you. Like if they deem like yeah, your existence is kind of, we don't like you for some reason, delete, you just don't exist. You know, they just like unplug you from it, and they just let your body just rot and die or whatever, right? So for me, it's like the lack of control. Like blue pill might give you that peace, but it's like that lack of control in terms of your destiny, in terms of what you want to do, is like that bothers me a bit.
So the blue pill might give you peace, but you want power over your own life.
Yes, because I ultimately think like you don't have true peace without power. Is like, you might not, for example, it's like a person, you might not have the power, but if you have a friend or family member that truly cares about you, that does have the power, then you could have peace, right? But in some way, you have to be connected to power in order to truly have peace. It's a powerful character. Even in like when we look at anime, it's the powerful characters that just walking around that like are OP out here that seem to be the most relaxed, the most chill in most situations, because they have the power. And like you even see it in like, you can see it in like in life as well. It's like people that have a lot of money, or like a lot of like faith in their physical capacity to protect themselves, they tend to walk through life a lot more calm and a lot more chill than most people. Now that's aside, you know, everyone can be affected by mental illness or like different crazy things happen to them in life, but overall I do believe that the more power you have, aka the more truth or more knowledge you have about certain situations, the more at peace you can be at things.
True. But I think the antithesis is true as well. The more ignorant you are about something, the more peaceful your life could be as well. Like babies, they are probably the most ignorant people on earth, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
but they're at peace. Well, I mean, they might cry, they might poop their pants, but generally they're at peace about what's going on or what's in the baby formula. They don't care about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been a baby in a while, but I would imagine baby me didn't care about what was in the formula, just happy to have formula. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you're somewhere in the middle of ignorance and all-knowing, that's when there's most turbulence in your life. That's what I would assume. I ain't no philosophy major. I just kid from the Bronx. But I think what the 20s or the antsy teens, when they start becoming teens and start seeing like, wait a minute, why does that work that way? It shouldn't be that way. And that's why like a lot of the revolutionaries or younger people, you know what I'm saying? Because they are just now getting exposed to the corruptions of life or whatever cause they're fighting for, versus an older person who's towards their end of the knowledge cycle and everything like that, just like maybe a bit more at peace. By now.
Yeah, it's almost like there is a certain aspect of accepting things. Like once you learn the truth, there's like some people that will learn the truth about something and they can't accept it, and so they fight against it. And then there'll be some people that learn the truth about something and then they'll just accept it as like the way it is, right? So maybe like as people get like really old, like get up there in age, they're like thinking about like the amount of time they have, and then also the amount of energy they have. It's like, even if there's a truth that they don't necessarily like, perhaps they'll just like do the cost and benefit analysis and be like, the amount of energy and time it would take for me to change this thing is not worth it when I get to spend that time with my family members and my loved ones and like doing the things I enjoy doing, But yeah, that's an aspect of things. It's hard to say, because like, for example, if you're in a matrix and you have like a top tier job that you enjoy doing and you're a multi-millionaire within the confines of the matrix, is like, if someone tells you like, hey, do you want to learn the reality of things?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm going on vacation next week.
I'm good. What you mean? What reality of things? I'm good. So I feel like maybe Morpheus would have had a hard time like getting Neo if Neo was like, like in a five-star hotel or something like that,
If he was the CEO of that company, Neo hated his job. Didn't he hate his job?
Yeah, he hated his position. So it's like, maybe it's hard to pull someone out of the matrix if the matrix is working well for them. I think that's a tough thing. I think that's a tough thing. Like, if the matrix is working well for you, why do you need to pull yourself out of the matrix, right?
And you could copy and paste that about anything in life. Like, yo, this is working well for me. Why would I have privilege here. Why would I what?
That is very true. That is very true. It's like, if you have advantages in certain fields or certain situations, and then someone said like, hey, like we want to change this, we want to make it more fair for everybody, you're looking like them at like, do we need to, like,
how does this help me?
Yeah, like, because like I think of like the idea of like being fair is like, fear only benefits the person that has a disadvantage, right? So like, to make things fair overall it sounds great on paper, but if you're the person that has lived your life with this particular advantage, then fear is a disadvantage to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Say if I'm good at push-ups, right? Mm-hmm. I weighed like 160 pounds or so, right? Mm-hmm. And you probably weigh like 190, 200 pounds. Mm-hmm. So I guess statistically speaking, it should be easier for me to do push-ups more than you, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Statistically speaking, yeah.
If I was trying to make it fair, or if you wanted to make it fair, I'd put on some more weight. Like, yeah, put on like a weight vest, Dr. Griffs, and see how many push-ups you can do now. But I'm closer to your weight. And I'm like, whoa, wait, why would I want to? Why would I want to do that? Like,
yeah, for
push-ups
sure.
are working for me. So I mean, that's a very low stake way of talking about fairness and equitability.
Yeah, that word. Yeah, you guys know what we mean. You guys know what we're talking about.
We weren't English majors, so I apologize if we butcher your English vernacular. I apologize.
Yeah, you know what we mean. You know what we're talking about. You know.
But the Matrix was a good movie. It's one of those movies that I think similar to like Star Wars that it affects generations to come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For sure.
Although you might not see as many Matrix like spin-offs nowadays, you know, you got the red pill community, the blue pill community. It's a part of like pop culture. It's referenced all the time. I think for me, a main movie that had a big impact on my life was probably I Am Legend.
Ooh, I Am Legend. My boy Will Smith.
I remember we had that movie on the PS3. Like, cause you can upload files to the PS3 and everything like that. So I watched that movie several times, and I don't know why, but for a good stake in my life, that was like one of my favorite movies.
That's very interesting because I have a similar experience to that, where it was, I had it on DVD. It was I Am Legend, I, Robot. Those were the two movies I would watch all the time when I was especially younger during the summer. This was before like I had access to like my own laptop where I could just like watch whatever I wanted, right?
Except before the Netflix days, before the streaming days.
Back in the before times, guys. Back in the before times. Hold on, let me put my hoodie on for that. Back in the before times where you couldn't have access to whatever content you wanted. You had to just dig in your drawers and pull out whatever old DVD or movie your parents bought at the time. And you just
when you had to run during the commercial break.
Like, oh shit, let me put something in the microwave. Hold up, come back.
But there's a science behind the commercials and the length of your break. So maybe I can make a PB&J sandwich that takes about a minute 30 seconds. The commercial's about a minute 45. I got to go to the kitchen and come back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy how you like because I watch I Am Legend a lot too. So I have a lot of things I can think about as well. So, but share what you pulled out from I Am Legend though.
You know, so I don't think I can have as deep of a conversation about I Am Legend as we did with the Matrix. There are elements of how far you will go if you're alone, what you would do to, you know, keep sane. Yeah. It was interesting seeing how, you know, what he did with the mannequins throughout the city, and the scene where he's like, Frank, what are you doing here, Frank? Yeah,
I'm really confused.
It was Frank, right?
I was so confused. It was Frank. You're right. But I'm like so confused about that. I'm like, did he move the mannequins, or was it the zombie people?
So the vampire zombie things, they moved the
okay, because I was like really just like freaking confused. Like, yo, is he out here sleepwalking, moving stuff without even realizing, like just to make it feel like they're alive or whatever? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah. I think there was twofold that was happening there. I think I forgot what his name was in the show or in the movie, but I think Will was like, yo, I'm losing it. Because Frank's not supposed to be here. Frank's a mannequin. Yeah. How did Frank get here? Frank, what's going on, Frank? Frank, make it make sense. Frank. Come on, Frank. So, you know, he shot Frank. Spoiler alert. And it turned out that the zombie vampire things were using his own trap against him. That's why, you know, he fell for his own trap and got lifted up. So they trapped him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry, you about to say something?
No, I'm listening to you, bro.
Yeah. So, you know, that was an interesting scene. And when I was younger, I was like, why? How did that happen? You know what I'm saying? And there's just a lot of scenes when he was talking to that mannequin, and he was like, "Hey, I'm like,
the girl mannequin."
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
How you been? I feel like I Am Legend, had it came out in 2020 and people were able to go to movie theaters, I know that's an oxymoron, but hear me out. You know, I guess things have been released directly to like streaming platforms in 2020. But imagine if I Am Legend came out in 2020 when everyone's quarantined by themselves, how differently that movie would hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people be looking at their like the pillows and be like, "Yo, you comfortable there? You don't even pay rent. Like, what are you doing?"
that movie, luckily I haven't had to experience something like that, but I feel like in 2020, I didn't watch I Am Legend in 2020, but I imagine had I watched that and I'd been in an apartment by myself, that would have been hitting differently. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's and maybe you can add some more context to it since you're a dog owner now. How did you feel about that scene where he had to put his Sam down? Oh my god.
Good memory. Yeah, that name was Sam.
Yeah, that was just like I don't have a dog, but I was just like, dang, that's your only like connection to like living creatures right now. Like everyone else is just like a zombie that you kidnap and try to like heal and stuff. But like seeing that dog go down, I was just like, dang, this is the thing that cracks Will Smith. This is the thing that cracks it. He was already cracking already.
Yeah. That just shattered him completely. Have you seen John Wick?
Oh yeah, I love John Wick.
So imagine if John Wick was the one that killed his own dog. Like he had to kill his dog. Imagine how different the movie would be. You know what I'm saying? So I imagine, because Sam was the last thing he had, the last remnants of his family. I think his daughter liked the dog. His daughter was like, yo, take care of the dog. Or his wife was like, take care of the dog. And, Sam was the only thing left he had for his family. And, Sam was a real one. Sam was a real one. After he, shot Frank and was hanging upside down, Sam stayed there the whole time, barking, saying, Will, wake up. Will, wake up. Yo, Will.
And
Will, wake up.
Sam has been out in this world long enough to know, like, hey, listen, I might not be the most intelligent living organism here, but I know when it gets dark, I should be inside. It is getting dark.
And Sam was barking for hours. I imagine hours on end. And then you see them vampire zombie dolls out there just watching. Sam done fall off, at least one of them, two of them, and got sick, got.
Yo.
Oh man, I think every time I see that scene, I might have, my eyes might have perspired a little bit. It might have had some condensation on my eyes. It's just a sad scene. It's a sad scene. That was a very low point in the movie. You know what I'm saying? You ever see a movie that makes you not want to watch it because you know how it's gonna end? You like, oh nah, son. Like I ain't trying to see that. But yeah, Sam, that was a real one.
Yeah, and I feel like in that movie we didn't really get a chance to see Will like fully absolutely break down after Sam's death, because I think correct me if I'm wrong, but immediately after Sam died, like this family just came in.
Yeah, in the movie, Sam died, right? So Will just goes out to the pier like the next night and tries to take out as many zombies or vampires as much as he can in that one night, because out of revenge for Sam. He said, yo, forget it. You know what I'm saying? The last thing I care about was taken away from me, so I might as well go out in a valiant manner, take out as many as possible. So he went on a whole self-delete mission. You know what I'm saying? And that family found him then because they're listening to his radio. So that's how that happened. So I think he didn't get enough time to really get through the stages of grief. He probably was on with this denial, maybe revenge or anger. He
was on anger. He was stuck there for a little bit.
And we didn't get to see him fully flesh that out because the very next day he saw two people. So now he's back to denial. He's like, how are you even, what's going on? There shouldn't be anybody here. What are you doing? Y'all watching Shrek in my living room. What's going on?
Yeah, I was like, yo, if I was Will, I would have been like, y'all really use. I think he mentioned it. Y'all really use my last pieces of bacon.
Yo, he was confused, completely confused.
He was like, how dare you go to my kitchen and use my last pieces of bacon? I was saving that. Yeah, but
the interesting thing about the movie, so it's a book. There's a book that the movie was made from, and it had the ending of the book has a completely different outlook on the movie. So in the book ending, I didn't read the book. I just watched several YouTube videos that kind of mentioned.
I was about to say, did you read a book? Did you read a book?
Wait, no, we read. I just haven't read that book. It's been a while. I'm a video type of guy. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, I'll listen to audiobooks more so than reading. But every now and then I'll crack open a book.
Every now and then. So in the book telling of the story, so at the end of the book, right? I might be paraphrasing. I guess I didn't read the book. I watched several YouTube videos that talked about the ending of the book. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But apparently the boy and girl that he found was actually like vampires that were undercover. So they're trying to like trap him. So they like knocked him out.
Hold on. Wait. The mother and son were in the book were actually like vampires?
Yeah, they were like smart vampires that maybe there wasn't the son involved, but there was definitely a woman involved. That she was undercover a vampire, not a human.
So they put on makeup and like because they lose their hair when they become that.
They did some type of book magic to fool him. Like he doesn't talk to people.
Yeah.
He's bugging out about Frank the mannequin. So anything that talked to him probably looked humanoid enough for him to be like, oh, that's a human. So
wow.
They captured him, right? And he was like, you monsters, you destroyed everything. And then they were like, yo, everything's been destroyed for like the last 10 years. We've been trying to, like, we had no control of that. We just were sick, you know what I'm saying? And we've been creating our own society. But you're the monster. You've been the one that's been kidnapping us in the middle of the night and middle of the morning and taking all these experiments about us. You are the ones that that make like nighttime horror stories to our kids. You know what I'm saying? They're scared of you. So you remember how there's a scene where he had all the camera pictures of all the experiments he had? So in the book and in the alternate ending of the movie, they kind of highlight how he was really out here kidnapping them, you know, torturing them, experimenting on them, as he would say.
Yeah.
As they would say, he was torturing them to try to figure out how to get back to, you know, the pre-crisis.
In the videos you watched, did they mention that the super intelligent zombie vampires, did they have memories of their past lives? Did they have memories of who they were before?
I think that wasn't really highlighted. It seems I saw another adaptation of it, where it was like an animated I Am Legend before, and it seems like they see reality completely differently off this animated video. I could probably send it to you later. They just perceive reality differently. Like their family looked like a threat to them, so they were attacking their family because it looked like a threat to them. Like I said about the Matrix thing, like the contacts in your eyes. So the way they perceive reality, humans look like threats to them or food. So they're not attacking humans, they're kind of defending themselves.
They're protecting themselves from them. That is insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So at the end of the book, they either kill him or they like ostracize him from Manhattan because they're like, you are the one that's been causing us fear and harm for the last 5-10 years because of all the people you done kidnapped. So he's the legend because the legend is him. Like people talk about him and such, you know.
That's
fear.
That's a crazy way to think about it. It's like you see, like, because it's different than like, is a different perception to, like, oh, you have a person that is sick, they're aware they're sick, like getting rabies, right? Like if a person gets rabies, like, you know, I don't know all the technical medical aspects of getting rabies, but to a amateur just looking outside, like when a person gets rabies, they just like go crazy, they go mad, they're unaware of like all their actions and what they're doing, right? But that is more of like, no, this sickness changed your perception of reality. Like they're like, oh, these humans are they're the monsters, they're trying to kill me, I'm not wrong, they're wrong. And then they do their actions and they're like, oh, yeah, I guess my actions saved you. You're now me. You're now part of me now. You're on my team now. That's a crazy thought.
And I believe in the book, those vampire things, they were like, we're just the next form of evolution. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just didn't evolve like us. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, yeah, sure. You can't even go out in the sun.
Well, I guess they had strength and
yeah, they could jump around, you know.
maybe the book had it slightly different, but the point is, in the book, he's the legend because he's like the nightmare. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. That gives a whole different aspect of it. A whole different aspect to like the whole story of like, yeah.
You got this crazy man talking to mannequins, kidnapping things in the middle of the night, experimenting, i.e. torturing them, talking to himself on the radio for years to come, and he has a dog. That relationship with the dog wasn't really that bad, but when you look at it through that lens, it's like, okay, yeah, you really doing a whole lot.
And it's also, it kind of, in a weird way, it comes back to the idea of blue pill, red pill, right? Whereas like Will, I forgot the name of Will's character, right? But like Will Smith at the time, he knew the reality of things. He knew the reality that like, no, you guys are sick, you guys are monsters. This is the reality of stuff. Like, because honestly, it's like, you know, the reality is that they got sick, and then they started attacking humans, right? If they got sick and they just like went bald and started looking like that, but if they were just like in the bed or just on their seat going like no one's gonna go out of their way to just attack them, right?
No one, you know people.
But it's like if the thing just looks like how they're looking, right? And they're just going like this, and they're not moving. It is like you think people really.
You know people.
You really think?
Stop the cap. How many movies have you seen? How many movies where someone gets ill, and they quarantine them, or they on site them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel like that's after. You know what I mean? I feel like that's after you see your friend or person gets bit, and then that's when they start coming to attack you, and you realize, oh snap! Like any person that gets bit, they attack you. So you're just like on site because you know the reality is they gonna attack you first. But if it was like when it originally started, people just got sick, they started bleeding, and then they started looking like those things. But if they just like were just chilling, chilling, you know,
I'll accept your argument. 2020.
Okay.
If anyone sneezed around you, coughed around you, what do?
You make sure you're measuring at 6 feet apart. You know, you take out your ruler and you measure 6 feet.
So you're walking down the street.
Yeah.
Someone say, "Hey, what's good, Bam?" and coughs in your face, sneezes in your face, and say, "Oh, my bad, that was an accident."
I mean, I'm moving as far away from them as possible, and I'm taking some hand sanitizer, just put it all over my face.
So this is the exact same situation. You know what I'm saying? They're not, violent towards you. They just got a little sneeze in them. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna try to separate yourself from them. You try to put them in a little area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once you find out that this is a deadly contagion, you say, well, they're already sick. Might as well. They're all in one area. Might as well get rid of them.
I could see if it's a deadly contagion, right? If it's like, if you realize that, like, okay, this thing gets you sick, you start looking like that, you start behaving like that, but ultimately it's going to kill you. I think government officials that be like, right? But it's a different story if the person just gets sick, they start You remember that scene where like
yeah, they're all huddling together.
if you're just doing that, you're just looking at a person like, you good? And they just go like and they just do that, and they're not attacking you, not running up on you, not trying to strike you or anything. You're good. You just all right, Frank, you could just stay in that room over there. We'll get some medical help. But the fact that like they out here was like running up on people and like, like trying to kill them and stuff, I think that's where the main problem was,
Army of the Dead. You see that movie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they had them all quarantined in Las Vegas.
Right.
They weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Just chilling in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They dropped a whole nuke on Las Vegas.
Bro, that was a threat. That whole place was a problem. You talking about not going anywhere?
They were quarantined inside. They weren't going anywhere. by your description, they're just
Bro, they were not going Because it's different than like, okay, it happening in Las Vegas and people just getting sick, going like, I think it's like the difference of like, if you go walk around in that environment, like the normal human being can just walk around in that environment without getting sick, right? And like they can walk up to, you know, a zombie and be like, hey, let me just check your temperature, and that zombie's like, and you can check their temperature and just walk away, be like, all right, I'll see you next time, and they're like, you know, it's like, that's different than like, oh, let me check your temperature. You know, that's a different experience.
I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying. All I'm saying is human nature, human history showcases if there's anyone that's a little ill, they're not going to be looking at them like, oh, okay, you're cool. They're like, no, we're going to quarantine you. Like, I think Princess Mononoke, you see that movie?
The Ghibli film?
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the Ghibli films I haven't watched yet. Break it down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, break it down.
So, Princess Mononoke, that film is about, I guess, industrialization when you think about it. There's like these forest spirits. There's this place called Metal Town, where they just keep expanding. To expand, they gotta cut down the forest, and you know, there's all these different things that kind of happen because they start killing off the forest creatures and the forest itself. I bring up Princess Mononoke because there were lepers in the village.
Like
so the
mean the skin disease, right?
Yeah. I don't. We're not doctors, so I apologize. We're offending anybody that has lepers or anything like that. We don't really know too much about that. But in the show or in the movie, the lepers were cast aside because they were lepers. And there was a point in the movie where they're like, Middletown, the lady hired us, and she's the only one that showed us love, you know, because we're lepers. But they were very grateful to her. So that is not the same as being a rabies infested zombie. Yeah. But they still were ostracized throughout society. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. So there's always going to be a level of there's always going to be a level of like separation, or like some kind of negative action taken towards the individual that is sick, right?
Yes.
But ultimately it might be for the better good. Like, it might not be like, oh, let's kill them all, but it might be like, let's quarantine these people and separate them from anyone that is not sick. And so that might look like that person being separated from their family or friends or something like that.
And socially, people start looking at you funny, like, oh, you weren't you in the quarantine zone? Weren't you quarantined? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it might not be like on site, but it starts developing that pattern of people othering you. Like, oh, they're different.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, yeah, I could get you on that one. But man, I wasn't even like, because knowing that as potential endings or like the original stuff from the actual book of I Am Legend, it like really makes it, because like there's even like hints of that within the actual movie, where it's like the reason why you have this big bad, like, I guess like alpha zombie vampire guy, is because he kidnapped his woman. You know, he kidnapped his, maybe they were husband and wife when they were human or whatever. For whatever it is, they were like intimately together. Like, we can see that he's like, yo, why would you kidnap my girl? What's wrong with you? Like, it's crazy. So if you YouTube alternate ending of I Am Legend, there's a whole alternate ending where it shows the alpha male zombie. You know how the real ending, they tackle each other and there's an explosion because he has a grenade in his hand, right? In the alternate ending, do you want me to spoil it for you? No, it's fine. You can spoil it. I'm not gonna rewatch I Am Legend again. Yeah.
It's a 2-minute ending on YouTube. But the alternate ending is he unlocks the glass door and the zombie walks in. Zombie vampire walks in, and
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
I think actually he pushes the thing, the table with the chick on it, and he locks the door behind him, so the woman and the kid is still safe. The zombie vampire king starts breathing on his face, yelling at his face, angry, and looks at the wall that has all the pictures of all his test experiments, and he starts getting angry, and Will starts looking at the camera, at the wall, like, gosh, I really did do all that. And then they start looking at the girl, the woman, and he starts looking sad and everything like that. Her breathing gets normal, and he starts yelling, and then he picks up her, and then he walks out.
Without
Will,
hurting Will at all.
Yeah, well, I think he didn't hurt Will at all. I think Will's crying like, oh crap, I really done hurt this guy thing these last couple years. I done took out a lot of his family members, and I think he just walked out and just left.
I think that would have been a better ending than the one we got.
Well, we got an explosion though.
Because I remember watching that explosion, being like, so you couldn't go into that. There was not enough space in that little spot for you two, Will. Like there wasn't.
You know, Titanic.
Someone must be sacrificed. Someone must be.
I can't get on the.
Oh wait,
so I can't get on the wooden bed. Like what's going on?
It looks like there's enough room there. You know, it's like looks like I could get out it. Oh
yeah, that's
gosh.
wild.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, that movie had the elements of like that loneliness. The elements of that loneliness, I think, is something that I never thought about too much about. You know, never considered it. Considered like, okay, it made sense that he was going a little bit crazy in terms of diving into it. The next movie I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, but it's not. I don't really see any. It's just a movie I enjoyed, but it wasn't anything that like I can pull out as like, oh my gosh, I learned this from the movie. But it was Iron Man, the first one.
Oh, why that?
I didn't know it was like, because there was always like, I watched Spider-Man, you know, I watched the original Spider-Man movies that came out, and I watched X-Men, the original ones that came out. But something about Iron Man, something about that movie came out. That was the first superhero movie that I really felt was like, yo, this is superhero thing. But I wonder if it's because Iron Man is a character that's like, he's a human, he's just like really smart. So for me, maybe I felt like it was a lot more tangible, you know, the like what Iron Man was doing. And also at the time I was really into technology, still into technology but it was the idea of like, oh my gosh, like what, like the only thing stopping us from becoming Iron Man is just a lack of knowledge on how to like make those stuff. Like we got jetpacks now, you know what I'm saying? So we get in there, we getting closer to there, right?
We got 5G now.
We got 5G. I think the Iron Man suit probably ran on 7G, so we're pretty close. But yeah, and I think I just really enjoyed the character of Tony Stark, played by Ronnie Downey Jr.
Oh, close enough.
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. I don't know. He was very charismatic. He was very cool. I just like watching characters that are just charismatic, smart, and are just like very witty with what they say. They always have something to say, and yeah, there was nothing really like super philosophical or impactful I pulled from Iron Man. But I just remember it being one of those superhero shows that like I really enjoyed, and it started off the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe that I absolutely love. You know.
Clarifying question: is that your favorite superhero movie?
My favorite superhero movie of all time right now is Into the Spider-Verse, with Miles Morales. That was just because of the cinematography and the storytelling. It's just great, and the character development, awesome, right? It just had all the elements of a superhero movie that I just enjoy, you know.
Was that your favorite live action superhero movie? That was a good answer. I go, that was a good answer.
My favorite live action, it's got to be Endgame, Marvel Endgame. That's my favorite live action superhero movie because it just had everything. You know, it had all the characters I enjoyed for these past couple of years. It had the witty banter. It had the action, and it just had that. It had that fulfillment when you watch Endgame, right?
Yeah. I haven't I'm not like a mega super Marvel movie fan.
Gotcha,
That makes
gotcha.
sense.
But you watched it though.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
Probably once or twice.
So, like when Captain America got the hammer, yo, and was able to pick it up, that was so fulfilling because that was set up like years ago. I think in like Age of Ultron, where Thor was like playing around. He just left his hammer on the table, and he was like, "Hey, you guys could try it. You guys could try lifting it up." And then everyone was failing, and you just see Captain America try to all right. He tried to shift it, and it shifted a little bit, and then Thor was like, hold on, wait a minute, hold on. It was just like the fact that executed and it happened, and like we got that fulfillment from that scene. I was just like, oh, that's why you're the first Avenger. That's why you Captain America. That's who you is. So.
Nah, I hear you. And I feel like this could be a whole episode about talking about different Marvel characters, Marvel versus DC, and everything like that. So before we dive too deep into that
realm, gotcha.
Let us know in the comment section if that's what you want to see next, or eventually. But, yeah, I think I wasn't one of those like Marvel movie fans. Like I watched the movie, but I wasn't like I'm a watch every Marvel movie in chronological order before Endgame comes out, and a lot of people did that. I just didn't. But it was calm. I like Thanos.
I like Thanos.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like
I like the little Easter eggs there in the movies.
What did
I appreciate it.
What did you think about? Were you in agreement with Thanos's, at least his thought process? Maybe not in terms of like what he actually did, but do you think his thought process about stuff was like sound? Was it calm?
I get his logic. I think he didn't fully understand the potential power of the Infinity Stones. Because I was like, oh yeah, if he could. I don't remember if this is my original thought or if I kept seeing different Infinity Stone things, but they're like, yeah, if he could snap half of reality out of existence, can't he double the resources in reality? Like,
yeah.
Is this the best idea? Like,
yeah.
If you could snap out reality, right? Could you snap out war? Well, I guess you need people for it to be war. Like, I feel like he didn't fully. I feel like he should have had like a round table.
Yeah,
with the Avengers or people.
I feel like he could have had more options. Because that is a big that was a big, like, it's kind of like memed online a lot, that whole idea of like, okay, you could take out half the people, but why not just double the resources? That's a whole big thing. And like, I get like without the Infinity Gauntlet, doubling the resources seems like a so much more difficult objective compared to just eliminating half of a population, right? So I get it in terms of Thanos' logic, right? Going from planet to planet and just killing off half the population to fulfill what you believe is the right thing to do made sense. But once you had the Infinity Gauntlet and you could like play around with reality and stuff like that, is like time to go back to the drawing board of like, hey, what's the best way to go about this, right? So it's like without the Infinity Gauntlet, within Thanos' logic and philosophy, makes sense to eliminate half the population of each planet. But with the Infinity Gauntlet, doubling those resources makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't even understand the upper limits of what he could do. Maybe not double, quadruple, exponentially increase. I feel like he woke up and chose violence. That's Thanos. He woke up and chose violence. Like there could have been other options. He probably could have snapped the greatest minds who have ever existed or who ever will exist into his reality, try to figure out the best way to stop this crisis. You know what I'm saying? This crisis of resources versus the amount of people left. but that doesn't make for a good movie.
True. Because like in the comics, him eliminating half the population in the universe made sense based on his reason. His reason was he fell in love with
Death, right?
Yeah, he fell in love with Death, and he wanted to like give an offering towards her. So, but in terms of making a relatable character, like that's not the version of Thanos they were going to go with to make Thanos more relatable. But I feel like even if they had like a scene where, you know, he's going through all the ideas and stuff, and like if he's like, okay, what if I just double the resources of everything? And if Indy Gauntlet's like, nah, I can't do that. But like, what do you mean you can't do that? Like if like you know how the genies be like they have rules like you can't bring people back from the dead and stuff like that. They'd be like, okay, cool. So if the Infinity Gauntlet was like, nah, you know, the universe has a set limit on resources I could produce. Like I could take resources out of it, but there's a set limit in terms of how much resources there can be in any given universe at a time. Then I'll be like, okay, your only option is to limit half these people based on like what you want to create. Yeah.
Or even in that imagining, or like imagine if he was like, what if I double the resources, right? And they say you can do this, but this will only last for about 10, 20 years of peace. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Similarly to like Attack on Titan. Stop me before I start spoiling anything. He was like, yo, what if I just do half a rumbling? He's like, that would, you know, give you peace for like 50 years. What happens after 50 years? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Versus Zeke, who was like, how about we just make it so y'all can't be born again?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Because you'll always have like people like Gabby.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll always have people like Gabby that be like, nah, I'm getting mine. We'll have peace after I get my revenge. That's the mindset.
And it's always continue. So I feel like Thanos could have fleshed out a little bit better with this. Yo, this could be a whole conversation about this Marvel villains and everything like that.
Oh yeah. True.
Let us know in the comment section if you want to hear more about this. Cause I was about to say some stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. We need some more content. We're gonna flesh this conversation out, okay?
Okay.
Stay tuned for next week's episode where we talk about something different. But Bam?
Yeah.
Shout out to you, man. Thank you for helping keep this YouTube thing alive. Like we couldn't do it without you.
Hey.
It's two of us.
Yeah. Hey, listen. If Thanos came through and snapped one of us out, the village hidden in the Skreets wouldn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Would not exist.
It'll just be a street or a Skreet. It would not be a whole village.
It'd be half a village. Wait.
It'd be a block.
A block. I'm dead. But anyway, guys, we appreciate you guys watching this video. Let us know, you know, your thoughts. Let us know what movies impacted you. Like it could be something as like philosophical as Red Pill, Blue Pill, or it could be something as simple as like, I just like how this character acts in this movie, and like it's impactful and pulling to me. Dr. Griffs, is there any last remarks you kind of have to say before we close it out?
No. Yeah, I think I look forward to what this year brings with it. Yeah, that's what I gotta say.
Cool. Well,
thank you for sharing my birthday with you, or your birthday with you. Know what I'm saying? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for participating. You as a viewer, you as in Bam. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, happy birthday. Like everyone, you know, by the time this video comes out, his birthday would have passed. But you know, put happy birthday in the comment section down below. You know what I'm saying?
We appreciate that.
So anyways, guys, usual stuff, you know, like the video if you really enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Also, in the description, you'll see a link to both my personal channel and both Dr. Griff's personal channel. And so check it out if you want to see more of our stuff. Of course, the music playing in the background of this video created by our boy over here, Dr. Griffs. And thank you guys again for watching this video. So that's all we got to say for now. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.